Hello and welcome back to the Frozen Card Gaming YouTube page. It's Mateusz here, and this weekend the LCS 3 found place. And today I have Tristan Pugh with me, who got top 4 with Adamancipator.
Hello.
So, first of all, congratulations on the top.
Thank you very much.
This is actually your third LCS top 8 or better in a row now. How does that feel?
It feels really good. It feels like a couple tournaments I've not seen the success that I want, but it's good that I can consistently top the LCS because that's where the big money is.
Yeah. So why did you decide to play Adamancipator at this event?
So I definitely think the format's slowly getting more defined. Like a lot of people are finding Eldritch Synchro and like defining those combos and optimizing lists. But I think in a meta where you know what most people are going to be playing and you can adjust your main deck and side deck to beat those, I think Rox just has like it's too powerful. Like just resolving Block Dragon just makes every matchup way easier. I think for like an actual ICS, Eldritch Synchro might be the best deck because it like beats Rogue a lot, but Rox just has like it's too good.
So what were your different matchups and how did your rounds overall go?
Okay, so I won a VIP, the second one I entered. So I started 2 buys. So round 3 was my first round. My opponent was playing True King Dinos. I won Rock Paper Scissors. Game 1 he had Nibiru, but I activated a Guardian, so I full comboed him and won the match. Round 4, I won Rock Paper Scissors again. It was a Rock Mirror. He had Imperm, but I opened Midfield Breaker, so his Imperm was dead, and full comboed, won the match. Round 5, won Rock Paper Scissors again. This is a common trend. I played against Kamal Crooks, so it's a Rock Mirror. He didn't have a hand trap game 1, so I won the match. Round 6, again, won Rock Paper Scissors against Alex. He ended up going EXO and Swiss. Farfa streamed this match, and I don't know how. My activates are like so good. I ended up having 3 Guardians on field at one point, but I guess I hadn't tested like hitting that good, so I didn't really know what to do. He opened Impum and Nibiru, but it didn't matter because I had so many negates on field, so he could never resolve Nibiru. But he did it at the end of the combo, so I had to like tribute one of the Guardians, and then he could break my board was awful. I ended on like 1 disrupt or something stupid. So I ended up losing that match. Round 7, I won Rock Paper Scissors again. This is against Eld Synchro. So at this point, I had 3 Rock Mirrors. And game 1, he had Vela, but I hit a Guardian, so it didn't matter, and I won the match. Day 2, so I ended day 1 at X1. I was like pretty tilted about the Rock match that I lost, but it is what it is. So day 2, round 8, I won Rock Paper Scissors again. I was against Eld combo. My hand was like kind of awkward, so I didn't hit a Guardian this time, and I didn't have Midfield Breaker or anything. So I made a fiber. He ashed it, but I had Block Dragon, so it didn't matter. There was nothing he could ever do, so I won the match. So I was X1 at this point, and with the buys, I have perfect tiebreakers, and X2 guarantees top, so I didn't bother playing round 9, just to sort of maybe he wouldn't know I was playing, and I play him in top cost or something.
Yeah, that's true.
So we finished X2 overall, guaranteed top, pretty happy. And then, so top cut, my bracket is pretty stacked. So the EXO is in my bracket, and then my top 32 matches against Blair Hunter. It's the first Rock Paper Scissors I lost. And so, but he opened, so his hand was like really good. He opened like Souls and Jet and a Golden Lord. So he should have been able to full combo through Impermanence on Aurora. But either his actual deck wasn't built to do that, or he didn't know the combo. So I impermed his Aurora and he passed, and I killed him. And then game 2, he ended up passing on Nibiru and Vela in hand, but I full comboed through it and he died. Game 2, I kind of misplayed. I wasn't sure what they could end on if my only hand trap was Ash. So I wasn't sure what they could end on if I ashed just the Aurora effect to special the O-line. I later learned that they can basically only end on Herald consistently. But I asked Fiber instead, and he ended on Savage. And Savage is a lot harder to kill than Herald, so I lost that game. He also had a Vela, which is like to be expected in that deck. They have a lot of hand traps.
Yeah.
And then game 3, he has Nibiru and Veiler in hand, but I have exchange, and my hand can beat Veiler, so I took his Nibiru, and then I full comboed. So then top 16 against Kamal Crooks, I won rock, paper, scissors. Game 1, I opened mid-breaker, but he doesn't have like a hand trap that mid-breaker beats. He has Nibiru, but I ended up making a Herald really early on like the 4th summon, I think, or 5th summon, so he can't Nibiru me at any point really. But then he top decks an Imperm, and so he can activate the Imperm and standby phase on the IP, so my board is like super weak at this point. I think it's only a Dweller as a disrupt.
Wow.
But he still can't kill me because he plays access code, and I think he was like relying on that to go for game. And so he didn't have a lot of plays through Dweller anyway, because obviously he can't resolve the Block Dragon search effect.
Yeah.
But since I have mid-breaker on field, he can actually access code pop my monsters. He has to pop mid-breaker field first and then only pop one of my monsters. So he hasn't got enough damage to go for game. He does like 7,400 damage, I think.
Oh, damn.
And then he ends his turn on access code, Gallant Granite, and Block Dragon. So I kill him on turn 3. Game 2, I open Pank, Imperm, Reborn, Researcher. And no, it was Pank, Imperm, Reborn, something else. But I can't combo through Cobble the Grave and Ash. It was really interesting that he kept an Ash going first. It seems kind of... I don't think that's correct, but I don't know what his deck list is. Maybe it is, considering what he plays. But I think I hand trapped him, so he couldn't do full combo. I think he passed on like a Fiber. But I ended up forcing the Fiber effect to summon Marcher, and then he summons Researcher, and I killed the Researcher with Unicorn. And so his field is just a Marcher, and he has a dead Ash in hand. And then he top decks a dead Gigantes, so he can't do anything. And then I kill him on turn 4.
Oh, wow.
And then top 8, I'm against Alex, who's the XO at this point. So he hasn't lost a match. I lose rock, paper, scissors. Game 1, I have Nibiru, but he has Block Dragon, so he full combos through it, and I lose. Game 2, I have full combo. He doesn't have a hand trap, and I activate exchange and take his Researcher, so he definitely doesn't have a play next turn. Even if he top decks like Dark Pool, I don't think he can win the game, assuming he played it. And then game 3, I open No Material and Veiler. So I Veiler his Doki at some point. His field is Adara, Seeker, and Doki. So I Veiler the Doki, because otherwise he can summon Guardian. And then he makes Fiber summons O-Line. And then I No Material the O-Line, and he has no play, so he passes. And then he sets an Appointer. But my hand is so good, I full combo through Appointer, so he dies. And then top 4, I played against Ryan Yu playing Striker. We already split the cash prizing for top 4, so there was a lot less pressure going into the game. Like, you can watch on Farfus channel that me and Ryan are very chilled throughout the game. So it was a lot of fun. But game 1, my board was like probably as good as it could be versus Striker. I ended on like Herald, Savage, and an IP. But he opened like 5 Striker cards and a dead Cosmic Cyclone, and he broke my board. Then I just couldn't do anything. And then game 2, I think I knew what he was siding, so I sided in Reboot and Cosmic. But it was not enough. I think I misplayed quite a lot in that game. I made like a couple plays that were kind of like a few people don't know about them. Like Doki can actually summon a face down defense, so you can actually use the effect, and there can be only one.
Yeah.
So I discarded a Tackle Crusader to bounce there can be only one. But I couldn't do enough. He just had too much. I don't know. That deck is pretty good. I mean, you won the event, so it can't be a bad deck. But yeah, that was all my matchups. So there's a lot of rock mirrors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty happy with how it went.
Yeah, that's good. So regarding your list, what did you decide to play 6 hand traps, and how did you conclude with Nibiru and Imperm as your hand traps of choice in the main deck?
So originally we were testing 9 hand traps in the main deck, but Gabriel Susi sort of criticized the fact that like 9 hand traps doesn't actually make a lot of sense, because in a rock deck you're cutting like extenders and consistency cards to play the hand traps. So you'll make your go first, because since everybody is on hand traps, game 1 you need to beat hand traps. And you don't beat hand traps in a rock deck by opening your own hand traps. Like in El Synchro you kind of can, because it's like super low resources, and like you can just grind and float with all the Eldritch cards. But in rocks you need like a couple cards to combo. Like Block Dragon by itself doesn't actually combo. You need like Block Dragon and a card. So having hand traps doesn't actually help that very much. much. And also, if you play hand traps, it usually cuts down on the earth count, which makes Block Dragon dead more often. So I think the ratio we agreed on, it either had to be 6 hand traps to have like a plus 50% ratio of opening one going second, or it had to be 12 hand traps so that we had a better chance of opening 2 going second. And given we started with 2 buys and winning, having a favourable matchup in like rock, paper, scissors is super complicated, but we should be winning more rock, paper, scissors than we lose. So if you win 4, I only need to go x2 to top. So I don't need to win going first. I don't need to win going second that often. But the hand traps we played, a few people were picking up on Midbreaker Field, and a few people were playing Cobble the Grave. So Nibiru and Impum obviously beat Cobble the Grave. Nibiru beats Midfield Breaker. And these 2 hand traps, Impum specifically is very good against the rock deck because it beats Guardian. Nibiru is one of the best hand traps against Eldritch because they can't combo after you Nibiru on Auroradon. But they, in theory, can combo if you Impum the Auroradon. Yeah. If they play a build that does that. It turns out I don't think a lot of people knew about that combo. But yeah, so it made sense to play the 6 hand traps, I think, and then just side heavy for going second against Imra.
Yeah. You mentioned the magical Midbreaker Field. How was it for you in the tournament?
It was really good. So we originally first started testing it in one of the PPG tournaments, and it's just it's like a total blowout when you see it. So when you go first against the Eldritch deck in particular, they have Veiler, like Moonlight Chill. Some play Token Collector, Rocks play Token Collector too sometimes, and Imperm. And Midbreaker Field just beats all of them. It even has like good applications against Gamma, which is like a super powerful hand trap. Dinos play that a lot. And like there was a match that Connor Zell played, and he opened Midbreaker Field, and his opponent opened Veiler, Chill, and Gamma, and Midbreaker Field just beat all of them. Yeah. So it was just a super big blowout. Even going second against Eldritch, you can just activate Midbreaker Field, and they have to conk pop it because they can't conk pop anything else at that point. So it's really good. Even against Rocks, like if they end on IP and they've like made an Apollo already, if you activate Midbreaker Field, the IP basically doesn't do anything because they can't unicorn anything. It seems like it's a really good card. Like I considered siding it, but we had space in the main deck to play it.
Yeah. Did you keep it in the mirror going second as well, or?
It depends. I always, if they didn't see me play it game 1, I would keep it going second in the mirror because they might end on Apollo IP, and that scenario, Midbreaker is a really good card. It like forces a disrupt. But if they know I play it, I feel like they wouldn't end on Apollo IP, so it doesn't have that much impact. No. But I kept it going second against Eldritch.
Yeah, okay. Why did you side the exchange over like Called by the Grave?
So it like reiterates my point that a lot of people side Nibiru, Token Collector, Imperm, and Exchange, and Called by the Grave obviously doesn't beat any of them. Like you can set it as a trap and it's really good, but Exchange is like a guaranteed. Not only do you stop a hand trap, you get to see which hand traps they do have if they have multiple, and like adjust your plays to beat them. Against the Rock Chimera in particular, like you can just, if they only have one hand trap and you can beat it, you can just take one of their extenders. Like you can just take a Seeker or take a Researcher, and you can like combo even harder. Also, it kind of beats people who play Dark Ruler, whereas Cobble the Grave wouldn't necessarily. I didn't think a lot of people would be on Dark Ruler, but it's sort of like a hedge against people who are a little bit behind and could get rewarded for it, whereas Cobble the Grave wouldn't.
Why did you side no material, and against what matchups?
Okay, so the theory with the hand traps, it looks kind of weird because there's a lot of 2-ofs, but to beat Rocks, you have to open 2 different hand traps. If you open like 2 Ash or 2 Gnome or 2 Token Collector, it's not going to be enough. So you need to open different ones, and they all basically do the same against Eldritch, and they all basically do the same against Rocks if you see 2 of them. So no material in particular, it's not something we tested very much, but in theory, it can basically just be the same as a Veiler. But in some hands, you can just no material, like if someone goes Special Summon Adara, you can just no material Adara, and sometimes they just don't have a play. But it's also Earth, so when you're siding out extenders and Rocks, it still counts towards your block count, which is really relevant, the same as Token Collector. But yeah, so it came up once where it was Earth, and I could banish it for block. So if you don't get to use it, at least it's not completely dead in your hand.
True, true. So why did you decide to play the extenders you play, and were there others you were considering, such as Unexpected Die?
Okay, so the extenders. At first, we thought that tuner extenders were the best quality extenders you could play. So like we played Adara for a long time now because Fiber is like the best play in the deck, probably best play in the game at the moment. So the other extender we considered was Quick Draw Synchron and tuning. But the problem with that is that Quick Draw uses a card from your hand as well as itself. It's not Earth. It's level 5, so if you do have to use a lot of your hand, you can't just like normal summon it later or something. Tuning is like the good card of that engine, because sometimes it can mill a Block Dragon. It's like 7.5% to mill a Block Dragon. It's like plus 50% to mill an Earth, so it kind of acts like an Earth, same as Adara.
Yeah.
But in the end, to beat multiple hand traps, if you open 2 tuners, it doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't like make your play any better. Unless one of the tuners is level 2, like a researcher, you can combo with the Link Cross and stuff. But we figured that the best way to beat multiple hand traps is to make Gallon Granite and a tuner, because you have to hand trap Gallon Granite, because if you don't hand trap Granite, they add Block Dragon, and Block Dragon beats every hand trap. Like, there's no hand trap that beats it. So that's why we went for Petting Sissa, which is another reason why we played these specific hand traps, because it doesn't have any conflict with Petting Sissa. Like, the chances are really low that there would be a conflict, but there's no reason to risk it. And then the 2 Dinotherium it has no conflict with anything in the deck. It's just a free special summon. Going second, sometimes they can like summon a Guardian from grave, but it is what it is. If they have that, then you probably weren't winning anyway. If they summon Herald, you just attack over it. It's 1600, so it crashes with an Apollo. That comes up a lot. It's wind, so it's not awful. Like sometimes you put it in the grave for Raptite in like really awkward hands. Doesn't come up very often, but with it being wind, you can equip it to Apollo with Union Carrier, or you can make Union Carrier with it with Marcher or O-Lion. That comes up a couple times. But yeah, level 4s are the important aspect to make Granite. Oh, and the reason we didn't play Die, so Unexpected Die is like almost the best extender because it's a level 4 because of Beta and Trumpeter, so it's Earth as well. But it's also a tuner when you need it to be, because you just summon Trumpeter. But the problem with it is that it's only 3 extenders and it takes up 5 slots in the main deck. And I don't think it being a tuner is relevant enough to warrant having to play 2 bricks, whereas you could just play 3 paying 2 Dyna. That's 5 extenders as opposed to 2.
True.
Yeah, I think that's... Brigandine doesn't really make sense because it's like basically the same as Dinotherium, but it conflicts with Imperm, and then you just have to cut Imperm to not have any conflict, and it's just... There's no point playing it.
Do you have any final words?
So let's see. A few people still playing Signs. Oh yeah, that's another extender. But Signs doesn't actually start your combo very much. It's really good with Doki, but so is like most extenders. It can contribute to a lot of brick hands. It's not actually an Earth. I don't think there's a lot else to say.
No.
The tournament was really well run. Obviously, there were a couple issues like in the early rounds, but with 300 plus players, you only need 2 people for it to really slow the rounds down. But later on, it got a lot quicker and a lot more organized.
For sure.
So, should I do shout-outs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout-outs to FCG, of course. Shout-outs to Gabriel Nets. He helps me build the deck a lot. Shout-out to Konazawa. He's like big on siding patterns, and that helps a lot with knowing what to side in every matchup. Shoutouts to S7, shoutouts to Storm Ragnarok, shoutouts to everybody I played. They were all pretty friendly. Shoutouts to Luxury as well. Hosting another big tournament. LCS4's probably going to be the one I win, I guess.
But yeah, thank you, Tristan, and thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, and comment down below what you thought about the deck profile. See you guys next time.